Ahoy, shipmates! Oh. There we have just 2 ships today, shipmates. The Riviera, which you're looking at, and P&O Arvia in a bit. Well, I say in a bit, probably about 45 minutes. Looks like a lovely day out there on the Southampton water. We've got lots of sailboats around. It is definitely a bit windy. I was just checking the weather. It's gusting up to 25 knots. I do wonder if we might have some tug action on Arvia. I've already spotted that we have some excellent Scottish flags being waved earlier. So we started off quite well, although I hadn't quite gone live then, so you may not have seen it if you weren't watching Cruise Cam. But certainly a good start to the day, considering it's only 2 ships. Looks like we're going to have plenty of wavers. And we have one of our spanners on board, Mark G. He's actually on board Arvia, off to the field. No, not to the fields, off to the Mediterranean. Yeah, so I can see lots of little sailboats out there. Probably a perfect day for sailing. Sunny, warm, good breeze. What you want. And then we have Arvia departing. Yes, oh, I've done that. Let me turn that off. That's not. So I need to find a better way of doing that. Yeah, we have Arvia departing at 6, as far as I know. Right, who have we got in the chat then? We've got quite a few shipmates already in the chats. Oh, we have shipmates, Daniel Sands, Kathy Pace, Elizabeth G, and excellent spanners, Tim Ellis and Kevin too are here as well. Shipmate Bean, and Spiderlog, and Tracy Reese. Said Captain needs some lockets. Yes, the Captain does need some lockets. I have a feeling it's on its way out, though. It does look very sunny down in Netley. It looks like one of the red funnel ferries. Quite silhouetted, though, isn't it? Yeah, quite a silhouette there. The disadvantage with Netley camera, it does sort of face the wrong way. But I don't think I've live streamed Riviera before. In fact, I don't even think I've droned Riviera. Certainly don't remember seeing her very often. It's one of those ships that probably doesn't come into port very often. And when I want to do a drone, it's the weather conditions aren't right. Let's have a quick look. Oceana Cruises. That's the Riviera. I get a better look at the red funnel ferry this time. Oh, look, you can see quite how small Riviera is compared to some of the likes of Arvia. The red funnel ferry doesn't look so small this time. Only 240 metres long, the Riviera. 15 decks, 11 of which are guest accessible. Capacity for 1,250 passengers and 800 crew. Whereas Arvia is more like in the 5,500 passengers and 1,800 crew. Quite a difference. Oh, that's quite a reflection of the sun there, isn't it? Not sure what the weather's like in the rest of the country, shipmates, but we've had some rainy showers this morning. And we did have some Scottish flags waving earlier on Arvia, so maybe they'll come out again later. Arvia due to depart at 6. Yeah, I decided to go live at 5:30 because the ships are often late, but Riviera's left early. Rather inconvenient. Arvia is off to the fields, to the Mediterranean later, and Riviera is on a one-way cruise to Reykjavik. Calling in at Antwerp, Leith, Invergordon, Kirkwall, Ruvik, Eskifjord, Okuri, and Ilsefjord, Ulzidor. Guessing that's in Norway somewhere. This is our camera down at the Netley Cliff Sailing Club. I think I was just reading then. It's shipmate Rab. Was it Rab? Where's he gone? Just gone off. Rab Nesbitt says, lucky enough to be getting a tour of Riviera in late August. Unfortunately, the cheapest inside cabins are £8,000. Does seem quite expensive, doesn't it? £8,000. I'm not sure how long that cruise is. Shipmate World of 360 says the weather looks better here in Luton. Yeah, it's not brilliant. I would say it feels warmer. So the humidity sensor's not working, but I would suggest it feels warmer than the 19 degrees, probably because the humidity is quite high. But it's certainly sunny out there. I know what the problem is. Let's do that. Okay. Margaret Taylor says thunder in Gloucester. We haven't heard any thunder here. Riviera off on a one-way 12-night cruise. Thanks to shipmate Bay Blue for that, or Spanner, I should say, Bay Blue for that information. By 12 nights, one-way cruise to Reykjavik, Iceland. I just noticed someone there's talking about. Here they go. Shipmate Mark Mankey says that they moved from Luton. I think World of 360 said we're in Luton. It was slightly warmer. They couldn't believe how much warmer it is on the south coast, like being in a different country. Oh, interesting to hear that, shipmate. Rab Nesbitt, he was talking about the expensive cruise on Riviera. It's a 28-day cruise. Portsmouth, Oslo. She's in for a day at Dundee. Ah. He's having a look on board. £8,000 for an inside cabin. Oh, shipmate Alistair Adams said missed out on Stavanger due to bad swells. Well, that is unfortunate. I was surprised. I was surprised the weather was that bad. Let's have a quick look on Cow's Cam. I was just having a look there. Surprised there's not more yachts out in the Solent. Looks like a perfect day for it. The Riviera's some way down Southampton water. I'm keeping a lookout to see if there might be any tugs for Arvia, but I haven't seen any yet. We have shipmate, or rather I should say Blue Spanner, one of our spanners, our excellent spanners, Mark G. He is on board Arvia. I should have given him a camera, shouldn't I? Then he could have given us a live stream from on board. He's in that cabin there, and he's promised us he's going to give us a wave. Otherwise, he'll be for the plank. Have a little look round Arvia shortly. Oh, looks like someone's pushing that a little too far there. Oh, ahoy there, shipmate Richard Holland. He's just become a member of the channel. Mate, thanks, shipmate. Appreciate you becoming a member. If you become a member of the channel, you do get some extra benefits and help support the channel. Hopefully you'll get some more cameras up. I think if I look on the other camera... Yes, there we go. There's a cargo ship that was departing earlier. You can see the school there, the sailing school, out having lessons. They're doing a good job. Perfect conditions for learning. The red funnel throw in distance, and there's something else on the left-hand side. I'm not sure what that is. Probably one of the local bunkering vessels. Taking the northern channel across the Solent, I would say. So it's probably... I can just look at my map and I can tell you which one that is. Maybe. Maybe I can't. Oh, New Frontier. That's what that is. Oh, New Frontier. New Frontier is the LNG bunkering vessel for Arvia. It comes all the way from Holland, which I find very peculiar. So when Arvia's in ports, the LNG bunkering vessel comes all the way from Holland and spends most of the day, actually, filling up the ship, whether it's Iona or Arvia. They're both LNG. There's big notices I've noticed as you walk on the ship saying no smoking on off your starboard side balcony, for obvious reasons. One of the red jets going past. Oh, there's one of those foiling chaps. They are very skilled at being able to make their surfboard come out of the water on a hydrofoil and operate a kite all at the same time. Our shipmate Alistair Adams says that they'd learnt some factoids on board, Iona, about the fuel capacity. Oh, ahoy there, shipmate Ellie Burley. Many thanks for becoming a member, shipmate. Great to have you back on board again. Oh dear, look like someone's fallen over there. Is that the little yacht from earlier? Oh, I see, he's on. Standing up now. He'll lean on the dagger board, and that's it. There he goes, giving it a good old pull. Splosh, he'll go into the water, but his yacht will be upright. Yes, there we go. His little sailboat. And off he goes to sail another day. Oh, ahoy there, shipmate Freddie Greer. Welcome aboard. Many thanks for subscribing. I did see an interesting factoid there from Robert Neath, Rob's travel blog. He says, apparently Arvia and Iona have enough fuel on board to last 2 weeks at full speed. I would say that's quite a lot of fuel. I know when they come into port, they don't always refuel. I know Iona doesn't always refuel. She only refuels every other time. It makes sense they've got quite a lot of fuel capacity. Let's check back on Arvia when I think about it. No, nothing going on there. She's not due to depart for another half an hour. Rather inconveniently, Riviera's left early. Alistair Adams says the capacity is 3,000, well, basically 3,500 cubic metres. Oh, that's quite a lot of capacity, isn't it? Sure, I can imagine 3,500 cubic metres, but it sounds like a lot. See all the pleasure boaters making their way back in. Probably had a lovely day out on the Solent. Shipmate Paul Waterman's asking, do they get nectar points when they fill up? That's a good question. Not sure I'd like that bill. I know LNG is relatively inexpensive, but 3,500 cubic metres must be... can't be cheap, can it? There we go. You can clearly see the chap there foiling on his little yacht. I think that might be a moth. I know they make their little foiling ones called moths. And they're really quite expensive. Let's see, we have one of our spanners on board today. He's in that cabin there. He's promised to give us a bit of a wave later. On Itching Cam, you can just see the container ship leading the race down Southampton water. So there's a bit of a breeze. I'm just wondering if it's too... No, it's dried. It's died down a bit now. It was quite windy earlier. Not exactly entirely sure what wind speed allows the use of tugs, but I think it's somewhere around about the 25 knots. When the wind speed's 25 knots or more, they definitely get tugs out to help with Arvia reversing. Ahoy there, shipmate Vanessa Wells. Many thanks for your donation there, shipmate. Greatly appreciate that. I might treat myself to a rum later. Ahoy there, shipmate Kevin Morris. Welcome aboard, shipmate. We should be losing Arvia. Sorry, losing Riviera as she makes her way around Cowshot Spit shortly. Probably catch her on Cow's Camp. And then we'll have Arvia departing at 6. Shipmate Daniel San has become a member. I think he's already a member. Member for 13 months. There we go. Well done, shipmate. Mate, thanks for your support. I'll just have a quick look, see what's coming up for next weekend. I think, if my memory serves me right, Friday does look quite a good day. Friday, the 14th of July. Yes, we have Seven Seas Voyager, Anthem of the Seas, and Queen Mary 2. And Saturday, there's 3 more ships. Iona, MSC Virtuosa, and Ventura. So that's about it. And then, of course, next week, the 22nd of July, is the arrival of Disney Dream. Much anticipated. I'll try and get a drone in of Disney Dream, I think. I think the Disney ships generate the largest crowds in Mayflower Park. After, well, actually, no, I think probably even larger than Queen Mary 2. Queen Mary 2 is always really popular. It's lovely to see Queen Mary 2 come past Mayflower Park. Lovely lines and Disney ships are also equally popular, if not more popular. Lots of children like to come down, especially when she departs. She makes quite a pleasant melody on her horns. Oh, shipmate Paul Waterman says that Victoria is wondering when we'll see Victoria back in port because she's up in Scotland with Ukrainian refugees on board. Well, I didn't know that. So you can see now the container ship is just rounding Cowshot Spit. The reason they don't go straight left, people often ask, there's a big bank out in the middle of Solent. If you don't avoid that, you'll run aground. That's during August, September time, the lowest tide of the month. The 2 yacht clubs in Cowes on the Isle of Wight will have a cricket match. And they play cricket on the Bamble Bank because it becomes completely out of the water. I did go and drone that a couple of years ago, and I don't think there's been one since because obviously we had lockdowns, and then last year it was Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, so they postponed it again. But looking good for this year. I hope to cover that. Normally means an early start because they normally kick off somewhere ridiculous time in the morning, like 6 in the morning or something like that. It's quite amusing. Lots of people turn up, lots of boats, lots of the bigger boats that turn up, drop their anchors, obviously, and send their tenders over, watch the cricket, go back on board, and then you have this lovely aroma of bacon butties at the Solent. Shipmate Rab Nesbitt says that Victoria is in Leith Dock. Leith is it's very near Edinburgh. No, there's confusion. I don't think it's the Victoria cruise ship. I think it might be another Victoria. Shipmate Tracy Reese says it'll be exciting when the new Cunard Queen Anne sails in. Looking forward to that. Yes, indeed. I think, memory serves me correctly, that's next year. Or it's about winter time even. There was a couple of cruise ships that were new ships that were due to come into port, but because they were delayed during the construction period because of lockdowns, they've rescheduled and they're not coming into port, which is a shame because it's always fun to have a new ship in port. Oh, shipmate Johnny B says they play cricket on the Goodwin Sands too. Ah, might have to go up to the Goodwin Sands as well then. Right to Netley Cam. Have a quick look on Arvia. Just checking, it's a bit early, but yeah, there's no shipmate on the well deck just yet. We'll have a look around, see if we can see some wavers shortly. We've already had some Scottish flags being waved. Don't know if they were supporters of Nicola Sturgeon or not. Just from the lands of haggis. I've had a few cruises lately stop in at various ports in Scotland, so that's quite interesting. Leith seems to get a fair amount of action. Our shipmates. Paul Waterman says he's heard that on the LBC this morning. Aha. Excellent Spanish. Steve Joyce says Queen Victoria will be back in Southampton on the 16th of July. Ah, it's the ferry. It's the Tallinn ferry Victoria that's in Leith Docks, not the cruise ship. There we go. The mystery is solved, as per usual. Excellent amount of knowledge in the chat by the shipmates. Just coming up to 13 minutes to 6. Arvia is due to depart at 6. Normally pretty decent. Oh, shipmate Margaret Taylor says the Queen Anne scheduled for maiden cruise in May. There we go. Yeah, I thought there'd been some delays. It does take quite a while to build a ship, mate. Build a cruise ship, 2 or 3 years, I think, is roughly the sort of time scale, or 3 or 4 years, that sort of. So the ships that are arriving today were definitely started before the pandemic, and they've probably taken a little bit longer, messing up all the schedules. It's a little bit hazier now. I don't know if we've got the No, there's no visibility. I've lost the visibility on this weather here. It's a bit of a shame. Our shipmates Alasdair Adam asks if the reason why the ships are constrained by their draft is that due to the bank in the Solent. Well, I guess partly you could say that, yeah. Large ships constrained by their draft means that they are a clear channel vessel. Other ships have to give way because they can't veer off the channel. And there's a navigation channel all the way from Southampton docks all the way down to Portsmouth. Goes around down Southampton Water, round Bramblebank, around the Isle of Wight. Now there is only a couple of places where ships can pass. One place in Southampton Water is down by the refinery. That's wide enough. And then a little bit further down, once you're past the Isle of Wight, the larger ships can pass. But everywhere in between, it's a bit narrow. So any large ship, I'm not sure how large they have to be constrained by their draft, but I can imagine a draft of 10 metres or more causes them to be a clear channel vessel. Looks like we should be losing sight of Riviera shortly, and we'll flick back to Arvia. We'll have a little nose around Arvia, see if we can see who's on board. We do have one of our spanners, Mark G, is on board. Perhaps he's having a bit of a nap. Prepare himself before he heads down to the buffet. Expect to see some photos. Shipmates, send us over your photos of what's going on in the buffet. I can see an increasingly large number of shipmates arriving on their balconies. It's a lovely day. It looks really, really sunny. Oh, shipmate Elizabeth Leaborn is at Town Quay, ready to wave. Oh, fantastic. Should have set you up with a camera, shipmate. You could have been our roving correspondent from Town Quay Pier. Shipmate Rab Nesbitt says they don't actually go into Leith Dock. They just tender across because it's a bit small. To be honest, I imagined it was quite small. You take a tender transfer if you're going up to Leith. Adam shipmate says he's got some food pictures and sooty and sweep. Huh. Shipmate Elizabeth, we've got a pink umbrella. I think she's arranging to meet another shipmate down in the docks there. Well, let's go back and see what we can see on. Oh, look at all those people on their balconies. Wonder if we'll see these Scottish flag wavers again. Keep an eye on Cow's Cam and see if I can coordinate that as well. I tend to forget. It's a little dark. I think the sun's going in. Plenty of shipmates on the balconies. Can't see our spanner Mark though. Where is he? He's not there, is he? Yes, very good. Not so many people down this end. All the people seem to be on their balconies at the far end. At the bow end. Pointy end. Oh, there's a few more down here. We've had a Scottish flag, 2 Scottish flags earlier, a Welsh flag, Southampton flag. Doing well for flags today, aren't we? I did see one shipmate earlier said they were going to be flying a Jolly Roger when they depart. That'll be good. It'll be easy to spot. What's a very bright red and yellow t-shirt there? It's like mustard and ketchup, isn't it? Actually, that's making me hungry. Fancy a hot dog. Oh, got in just as it's focused. Right, let's have a look. Aha! I've spotted what I was looking for. Down here on the... No, he's gone. Down here on the bow, I spotted the shipmate in the little well deck hatch there. That is a good sign that we'll be departing shortly. Departure time, it should be 6 o'clock, and Arvia is normally pretty good about departing on time. There we go. There's our little shipmate. So it's a good sign if you see them there. Yes, I think that's a good sign that we'll probably see some activity shortly. I'll have a quick look back in the chat, see what's going on there. Shipmate Alistair Adams says he will take a Scottish flag next year on Arvia. Excellent, shipmate. Shipmate Victor Tilson says last he heard was that Mark G is sampling beverages in the Sunset Bar. Aha, excellent. That's an excellent place to be. So he's on the stern of the vessel. And with weather conditions like today, I can wholeheartedly recommend that. Get yourself a rum-based beverage, maybe a dark and stormy. And sit there and watch the port of Southampton disappear into the distance as you enjoy 14 nights in the Mediterranean. Shipmate Desmond Leeborn asks, has Riviera departed? Yes, Riviera has gone. She's probably near Cowes shortly. I might zoom over to Cowes Cam. Oh yeah, not far away. Not far. Let's put Cowes Cam on. Where should we put Cowes Cam? Let's put Cowes Cam on a different device so I can keep an eye on that. And we have the container ship now, the Hapag Lloyd container ship that we saw earlier, just passing Cowes Cam. Does look quite picturesque. We had some beautiful stormy weather clouds yesterday over Iona. I took a snapshot because they sort of looked fake. Oh, it looks to me like we've got some lines. Yep, the lines are coming in on Arvia. So look at that, 6 o'clock on the dot. This captain runs a very tight ship there. Shipmate Vanessa Wells says she was on Britannia last Friday and her daughter and granddaughter saw us waving the flags. Excellent. Glad you were spotted, shipmates. Always good to get some younger audience members on board. You can see the lines coming up now. We will be imminently departing. This will be the sort of singling up part of the process where they'll just leave a couple of lines connected. And then they'll slowly reverse out into the middle, well no, actually the lower swing ground. Do a little spin and head off down Southern Water to the Mediterranean. Obviously slightly more senior crew members there. Shipmate Nadia Robert Shaw is also hoping her family sees her depart on whenever she's going. We still have a few lines attached. And Spiderlog says Paul Brown is currently the captain of Arvia. Captain Paul Brown clearly runs a wonderfully tight ship. It looks like the other lines are just coming in as well. Shipmate Johnny B says, what a wonderful paint job all about. Yes, it does look very sharp, doesn't it? Also being a newish ship, there's no signs of that dreaded rust coming through. Seems to have gone a bit slow. I'll just check for traffic. I don't know if there's any traffic. Is there any traffic? Sometimes the ships wait for traffic, but I don't think there's any traffic. No traffic. I can often throw a spanner in the works if there's some traffic. How is the temperature? Temperature's still around about 20 C. I think the humidity is quite high. It'll probably feel quite warm. It's gusting. It's gusting quite high. It's about 23 knots. Probably just on the edge of not needing tug assistance, I would imagine. Yeah, I'm just checking. There is no tugs at the moment. And here come the last couple of lines. I think there's a message there from... Excuse me. There was a message there from our spanner who's on board, Mark G. Apparently he's, I think he's having trouble with the chat. I noticed that the connectivity is a bit of an issue on board. Probably something to do with the high number of people all in one spot. I'd imagine the providers never imagined there'd be so much activity. Ahoy there, shipmate. Firing Ninja. Welcome aboard, shipmate. Many thanks for subscribing. See, apparently Mark G might be going to his cabin. I think his communication's a little bit hazy. I'm of the belief he may have had one too many rums already. We have Riviera now, just passing Cowes Cam. This is great view you get from Cowes of the cruise ships. So Riviera will head off to the fields, as you'll basically go straight past Portsmouth, along the English Channel, up through the North Sea. Hopefully it'll be smooth sailing for all on board. And looks like Mark G's final answer after phoning a friend says he'll be on the promenade deck on deck 8. Okay, well we'll catch him as he spins round because we can't see the promenade deck 8 really that easily. I'm not really sure if he's got a flag or something. I'm sure we'll see him. It's a bit slow. Oh, here we come. I was just about to say we're a bit slow letting these lines go, and there we go. The line is going. The final 3 lines are coming in, so I think Arvia is ready to depart. We'll probably see her nudge forward ever so slightly, and then she'll start heading backwards. You can already see she's starting to move. Not sure what those shipmates there on the bow can see. I suppose they could see the workers on the dockside. Very brown fields of Hampshire there. And there's the final lines coming in, and Arvia is off. See quite a bit of heat haze there. I think that might be the Hovercraft Museum that's just behind Riviera now. We had some questions the other day about the Hovercraft Museum. And there goes Riviera off on a 12-night cruise to Iceland. Well, actually, 12-night cruise, 12-night one-way cruise to Iceland. Apparently a relatively expensive cruise to go on, but I imagine the level of service is very good. What I hear. Arvia is, all lines are in on Arvia now. She's slowly going backwards. I have to look out for Mark G's on the promenade deck. So he says. I think he may have had a few too many rums. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can see Mark G, shall we? Definitely lots of people out on their balconies. Can't tell if people are waving or just having a stretch. Oh, there's a waver. Oh, the waver has stopped waving. Looks like someone's filming on their phone. Lots of people inside as well. Oh, lots of people on the top deck. Yeah, there's a lot of people out and about, isn't there? Mark G says he's on the promenade deck, which is deck 8, so that's the bottom of our screens. A little tricky for me to spot him, because I don't know quite what he's wearing. If he had a big flag, that would be helpful. Oh, I can see some of our Scottish brethren. Very visible, those Scottish Sultan. There we go. Easily spotted. I don't know if we know who they are, actually. Often people with flags tend to type in the chat who they are. I think I saw the hand signal in for going for a spin. Oh, it actually looks like an entire family, doesn't it? Looks like they've got the adjoining cabins. Yeah, it's very easy to spot those Scottish flags. It's a fair old trip from Scotland down to the port of Southampton, so I wonder if they stayed the night somewhere. I know people often ask me for restaurant recommendations in the port. Yes, very good. I like that. Much easier to spot. It does look like the sun's come out. Perfect day to start your cruise. I'll have a little look for Mark G later. I have a feeling he's on the stern, enjoying some cocktails. Probably heads on down to the buffet. Or actually, if you're deck 8, you'd be up to the buffet, wouldn't it? Looks like we have some shipmates on board. Shipmate Paul Carter says the family are on board on a cabin right under the bridge. That's Stuart, Jennifer and Emily. Should have been there too as well, but sadly unable to at the last minute. Oh, that's a shame, shipmate. Oh, some excellent shipmates there on the bow, on the balconies, on the bow there. I'm not quite sure where his cabin was. His family's cabin, somewhere along here, I would imagine. This is the bridge, is just above us. Of course, they may not be on their balcony. You can see there's a fair bit of breeze there with those trees moving around, so it's a good indicator of what's going on weather-wise. I know we have a wind speed through the weather. It's quite nice to see the actual trees moving about. She's making quite a speed there, quite some speed as she reverses out. Shipmate Tina Hyman says we'll be on board Ventura next Saturday. Oh, we'll keep a lookout for you, shipmate. Shipmate Steve Mack, just in time. Has a habit of turning up late. Does shipmate Steve Mack? Never mind. Let you on this time, shipmate. Don't need to go to the brig this time. There is the wonderfully Union Jack blazoned on the bow of Arvia there. Very distinctive feature of all the P&O cruise ships. I think they all have this. All have the same design. White hulls with the Union Jack on the front. Reminds me very much of British Airways back in the 80s. Andy Carter's how many on board? I now haven't got any numbers. Unfortunately, the radio's not working at the moment. I would imagine somewhere in the region of 5,500 passengers. That seems to be the norm these days. They're always full, more or less. Not full occupancy, but full as in number of cabins being taken up. Adam says, think Ocean Dock is the only dock that I own and Arvia can use depth-wise for scissors use. I don't know, actually, shipmate, I don't know. I think they could use one of the other ones, because certainly we get some equally large cruise ships docking further up, so I wouldn't be surprised if something they could go somewhere else. But I think the Ocean Terminal is primarily for the use of P&O. And you just see how large Arvia is over the top of the other car parks and vessels there. Oh, hi there, shipmate. Marcinaras, many thanks for subscribing, shipmate. Glad to have you on board. There's one of the red jets coming in. Whoosh. One of the only few vessels allowed to speed in the port. She can do, as long as she's radioed in beforehand, she gets permission to go as fast as she likes. Lots of shipmates on the top of Arvia today as well. Certainly the weather for us, isn't it? Better than it has been. I did wonder if it was going to be a wet broadcast today. Watching the cameras yesterday, and there has been some quite damp weather in port. We'll keep an eye out for shipmate Mark G. Supposedly he's on promenade deck 8. Maybe he'll be on deck 8 towards the stern. Oh, excellent spanner says that I own a docked at Horizon Terminal. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm not sure what. Johnny B says best flag in the world. I think he might be talking about the Scottish flag. Oh, Matt Carter says, can you zoom into the front of the ship? I think, Red says there, many thanks. Where, front of the ship, whereabouts though? High or low? That's the front of the ship. There's quite a few people out on their balconies. I often thought that looked like a really great place to go, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I'd rather be on the stern. You can certainly see how fast Arvia is turning. It's quite impressive considering you talk about 180 odd thousand gross tons of ship. It's just manoeuvring very easily. Shipmate Anticosta, does anyone know who the captain is? Yes, someone said earlier, Paul Brown, I think, if memory serves me correctly. Someone did mention it in the chat. Of course, I can't find it when I'm looking for it. Oh yes, Robert Neath says, that's right, she did drop at Horizon Terminal and then she went round the corner. Yes, I remember that because she did a big old spin run off Town Quay. That was quite enjoyable to watch. In fact, I think I have that on one of my videos. can see the effect of the bow thruster at the bottom of your screen there, shipmates. Yeah, it's 44 berths where Titanic docked. I think it's just next door. I'm not sure it's quite the same layout as it was back then. Shipmate Phil Wheeler will be on Sky Princess in 12 weeks' time. And of course our spanner. Halfway up the front corner was the location of this view. I hope you saw them. Steve Max asking, have we seen Mark G? We haven't. I think he's gone. I think he's gone missing. He's gone to the bar, never to return. Did send some confusing communications earlier. Yes, even Elizabeth G thinks he's hiding in the bar. Let's see, Arvia's just about completed her reverse turn. And you can see all the way over to High. There we go. It's very clear today, isn't it? Very bright and sunny over there. That's one of the old lifeboats on display. You see the P&O house flag on the bow. Gives you a good idea of wind direction. Apparently Mark G was star jumping earlier. Very keen. So there's the promenade deck that we can see there. With the glass wall, you can walk all the way around the ship. It's good for exercise, should you be that way inclined. The best view of Port Southampton does require a portside cabin. Obviously, get a good idea of how many passengers are on board Arvia when you see them from the side here. But when I was on board on Iona, the Arvia sister ship, I was amazed how quiet the ship seems. You walked around, it seemed like there's only a couple of hundred passengers on board, not the 5,500 passengers. The bigger the ship, of course, gives them more space. Right, we're on the lookout for Mark G. He's one of our new spanners, actually. I'm not quite sure where he's got to. He said he's on the promenade deck. I think the general consensus of opinion is he's overdone it in the bar. So we're now at the back, at the stern. That's the, I'm not sure which one's the sunset bar, but one of those bars along there. So he's either in the bar or he's on the stern, on the promenade deck. I think that would be my choice for a cabin. If I could pick a cabin again, I think I'd go for the stern. You get to see both sides then. But probably not too near the hot tub. I don't want water splashing over me. No sign of Mark G. Where is he then? Who knows where he is? Plenty of shipmates out on the balconies there. Perfect day for a sail away. Well, the red funnel ferries. We saw earlier the red funnel ferry and Riviera comparison, and it didn't look too different in size, but you can see a very big difference here between Arvia and the red funnel ferry. Red funnel ferry looks quite dinky by comparison. Just coming out the dock heads now. Oh, it looks like we've got the loading ramp from the Roro there, either coming up or going down. Probably coming up, I would imagine. Seems to be halfway there. Still plenty of ship passing the dockhead. It just goes on and on and on. Shipmate Robert says there's torrential thunderstorms here in Sheffield. Kevin 2 says yes, the ramp is lifting, although it looks very slow. Well, I guess it's quite heavy, isn't it? Probably takes a very long time. So many slow winches there. Blue Spanners, Stephen Joy said the Arvia is sailing with approximately 5,780 passengers, very nearly full capacity. Right, I hope you've enjoyed that one, shipmates. I do apologise for my slightly rough sound and probably lack of commentary. I've got to keep muting the microphone as I sneeze and blow my nose. I seem to have picked up some dreaded lurgy from somewhere. I hope you enjoyed that. I do thank all my members of the channel, or especially the couple of new members we've had today. I do thank all the Patreons, PayPal donors, and of course the Blue Spanner crew, because not only are they full of information during these live streams, they're also always in the channels as well. I should more than likely be back next Friday, because that looks like a good one. And then we'll also have Disney ship the week after. So do think about subscribing, and then hit that notification bell, because every time I go live, you'll get a notification and you won't miss out. Also, I've got some films, I've got a bit of a back catalogue of films coming, so yeah, you'll also be notified when I release a new film. Right, many thanks, shipmates, for joining this live stream, and I will continue to follow the Arvia down Southampton water, but I will cease the commentary as I need to go and blow my nose. Until next time, shipmates.